Hello, hello, welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and today I'm going to look at making a cover for the journal swap that I'm doing as part of the treasured page. You may remember that I told you that this was going to be 4 signatures, and it was going to be celebrating Women of Wonder, and that Women of Wonder, and then it had this travel theme, and that I was going to be making them in the wrong order because the treasured page spring signature was with Nellie Bly, and yet in my book she's actually going to be number 3. So we know we've got 4 signatures, so I wanted to make a semi soft cover for her, and I've got these fabulous travel pages from my lovely friend Denise. They're just beautiful. They came or will come in real handy. Now this is definitely my most favourite one of all of them. This sort of screwed up paper with this beautiful sketch drawing with a bridge. I just love it. So I'm going to use this as the main outside cover. Also, it's going to give me some space if I want to put something here. And what I'm undecided is whether to do the inside with this blue. Although the images are quite vintage, I feel like it's got quite a modern vibe about it. So then I'm wondering, and I want that to be able to cut up, and these sort of journal card stroke large stamps I want to be able to cut up. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to go for the map. So there you go, that is the decision made. The outside will be the sketching, the inside will be the map. They're plain on the back. I'm going to glue them together. That's going to give me some good strength. But it does obviously mean that we're not going to be able to do anything with them once we've glued them until they're dry. So I'm going to glue them right at the end. I think that makes sense. So I thought I'd opt for the really simple option of putting my signature on the end and drawing a pencil mark there. I don't want to cut into this paper because it's beautiful, and then I'll do exactly the same. I'll line it up at the end there and draw a line, and then that is going to be my signature. It's going to be a really big signature, but I think because of how puffy I've made this, I don't really have much choice. Yeah, I don't think I have much choice. So what I'm going to do then is get my T-square, make sure we get a nice straight line down there and down there. So you can see that the signature is almost as big as the front and the back. So what I'm thinking is I'm not going to stitch it in the way that I normally would. I'm going to do a Midori style, because also that will allow it to lay a little bit flatter. So then I'm just going to put my signature, let's do it on this one because it's closer to me and I can see better, back on that piece of paper. Make sure it's on that line, and I'm really happy before I cut it, but we'll do it upside down because I do want these bits to poke out the top. So that's on the edge, that's on the edge, and then That's going to be my height. You can't make a simpler journal cover than this. So then I'm just going to line that up, make sure it's nice and square, and I'm going to do a line across it, and I'm going to cut this piece off. I'm going to cut both sheets at once. It's always asking for trouble, isn't it? This has got a bit of a frame, so it does mean that if I'm cutting it at this point here, we're going to lose that top, but needs must and all of that. So I'm just going to lay it down, pop Stanley on top of it, get my blade and slice that off. Unfortunately it didn't move and it all came off together lovely, and obviously now I can just come in and rub off those pencil lines. Beauty of using a nice soft pencil, and then that will, oops, apart from that I just screwed it up, that will be good to go for whatever we want to use it for. So we've got those two pieces. Okay, and then, whoops, I want to do some measuring. So I'm going to measure a ruler width up. So that's going to be there. It's quite hard to see on there because it's quite dark with the sketching. In fact, it's almost impossible to see, but hey ho. And then the same at the top, I'm going to come a ruler width down like that. Okay. Mainly so I can see what I'm doing. And now we're going to do some measuring. So we have got, I'm going to go in centimetres purely because we've got 8 and it makes it really easy, and we need 4 signatures. So if we do one at 1 centimetre, one at 7 centimetres, one at 3 centimetres, and then at 5 centimetres, we've got plenty of space in the middle. The ones at the end there should have enough space, so we should be fine. Okay. So again, doing this together, where's my T-square gone? I'm going to line up these. Do you know what, actually, because I can't see my lines down there, I'm going to turn it over, still do 2 together. Oh, but now I can't see where I've marked. So we turn the map over, here's your sheet, line it up there like that, and bring these lines all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh, I didn't do that one, did I? Didn't go all the way to the end. So there's my 4 lines. Okay. Now that is the bottom with the border and that is the top. So holding them together, sorry, I know I'm fiddling, but it's because I'm picking two up at once, and it is a little bit tricky when you pick two up at once. I've got that, you know, the ruler's got divots and divides in it, so I'm just gonna cross there, do exactly the same. So I'm using like that narrow area that's a third. You see, look, there's one, then the middle, then two. So I'm just using that second line, and then you can probably hear the rain. It's absolutely horrendous. There we go. So there's my lines. And then I'm going to take my hole punch and I'm going to try and get that so that the piece that comes down is on the top or just under that line. Can you see? Like that. And then I'm going to do again, just under, and again, and do them all the same. And obviously I'm deliberately doing both sheets at the same time. And turn it round and do the same thing again. Now that I can see is not straight. Can you see that's not straight? So is that where I've not cut it straight? Or did I not hold the ruler straight? I didn't hold the ruler straight. That's not good, is it? So we'll rub that out and we'll do it again. This bit's quite important because if you don't get these level, it's just going to look funky. And we don't want it looking funky. So again, just under. Just under. There we go. Okay. Now you don't need to rub that out because obviously that's the white that's going to be inside. So then we can put our together. We do obviously, oops, we don't want to rub these lines out yet because we need to fold these. So taking my metal ruler, just because it's that little bit firmer, I'm gonna run my finger against my ruler. You can obviously do this on a scoreboard if that's your preferred method, but this is the way I do it. Okay, and then turning it round and doing exactly the same. So lining up those two areas. Okay, now obviously we've actually folded it the wrong way because this is the inside and this is the outside. So turn it over. Now we've got our cover and we can see it's going to be quite a chunky spine and quite a thin middle. Okay, I'm going to put it flat, rub my lines away because we don't want pencil lines on here anymore. Okay, now there was a line, wasn't there, going across there, but I can't see it now. Okay, and now we are going to glue this together. Now you saw that when I folded it, it moved slightly. That's why we need to glue it first. Okay, so I haven't got a dirty mat, but I have got a big Amazon Jenga. I have got an Amazon package, so I'm going to use my big ruler, Claire, paintbrush, goodness me. I'm going to use some good old-fashioned PVA, and this is just the clear PVA that comes from the works, and this giant one is £4, and I'm just going to go for it, and I'm going to glue all the way across my page. Now this will make it obviously damp because it's a water-based glue, but it does, I found it dries the hardest if you do it this way. So okay, so I've covered it all. I'm going to pick it up, put my paintbrush in my desk bin, and then we're going to line it up. And the easiest way is going to be, see it's super sticky, is with the top corners and those holes. Okay, and then just wipe it down like that. Turn it over, give it a really good burnish. And then I just like to take my bone folder, just brush it down, make sure it's super stuck. And this side, do both sides. If we need to trim it slightly, we can. So that's now obviously very, very much thicker, and once that glue dries it's going to be awesome. So now I'm going to put my grommets in to protect these holes. So we need 8 grommets. Now I need to decide what colour. I'm going to use the black thread because, or elastic, because of the black sketching. Do I want silver and black? Copper? Now I don't really want the copper, but as I'm looking at this, I do want the copper, so I don't know. And then we've got gold. No, I think it's between them two. And I think actually the copper is going to add a nice sort of bit of colour. That silver sort of disintegrates. So we need 8 coppers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I believe. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, 9. 2, 4, 6, 8. There we go. So we've got 8 of those. If you've done these before, I'm sorry, grandmother sucking eggs and all that, but this is the way I'm going to do it. If you haven't seen it before, then it's a little handy hint for you. So then I'm just going to pop these, each one of these in here. I'm going to use the round on the top and the spike on the bottom. Okay, so we pop that in. If you do it the other way, it just won't work. But then I suppose you'd learn that quick enough. That will then sit in that round. You can feel it sitting in the right place, and then you just give it a good squeeze. And it sits flat like that. So there's the next one. And obviously we're going to put 4 at the top and 4 at the bottom. And by doing it the way we did it, it makes sure that we've got them all in a nice straight line. Okay, so there's 4 at the top. I need to trim that white line, but that's not a major problem. Obviously got it slightly off because we've also got a white line on this side, but that's okay. And then once we've got all these in, it does take a little bit of elbow grease, I've got to be honest. If you haven't got much elbow grease, you can actually buy some of these that are spring loaded, but they're not cheap. Or you might have to ask hubby or a sibling or a child, not a child, but you know, one of your adult children or whatever, to give you a hand. Now that one is slightly up, which is weird. Got that slightly out, obviously, when I was talking. Actually, no, it's that one that's out, look. Because the other 3 are all the same. Oh well, it is what it is. We've done it now. Okay. Now, I'm going to thread all my elastic through. So, I'm going to start by threading through that very first hole on the outside of the book, okay, and then I'm coming down the inside and out through the one that's in the same place at the bottom, like that, so you get a dead straight line. And then on the outside I'm going to come across, and that's a bit messed up. Let's just trim that straight. That's better. And then oh, why did that one fall out? Did I have it the thing in upside down? That's because I was talking, probably I wasn't concentrating. Right, so do that again then, because if you do them right, they're never going to fall out. So there you go, there's the proof that if you have it, your pliers upside down, it's not going to work. Okay, so we got this one, and I'm going in the hole next to it, coming all the way to the top. I'm going in, or out, whatever it is you want to say, so that I've got 2 straight lines, and I'm just going to carry on like this all the way across. So then back in with one next to it, all the way down to the matching hole, back into the one next to it, all the way up to the next hole. Now if I pull this, you can see we've now got 2 ends. Okay, so let's cut this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this one through there. Oh, push this one through here. Oh, for goodness sake, doesn't want to go through, does it? It's so simple, Claire. How can you keep muffing that up? Put that through there like that. Make sure you give a little tug. Make sure they're all nice and tight. Okay, now it's going back through there. There we go. So you've got like a line. Okay. And then this one, it's because it's elastic, see, I'm also going to give a bit of a tug, and I'm going to poke that through there as well, like that. And then I'm going to tie these 2 together. Now there are lots of ways of doing this. If you wanted these on the, see it, and you just keep pulling and it gets guitar stringy. Okay, you don't want it tight, so tight that it's going to make your cover curl, but you do want it nice and tight. There you go, to hold your signatures in like that. Okay, and then obviously you can decide what to do with these, because you could leave them and put beads or something on them in the middle of your journal. Now, because I've not decided yet what I'm going to do with mine, I'm not going to cut them. I'm just going to leave them. And then this one, like so. So now I've got my front, my very wide spine all across the top and just 2 at the bottom, and then I've got my back. I do need to trim off this white, so I'm going to take my Stanley and my blade again, and just line that up. So we've cut that off, perfect. And then if we flip it over, we've got to take this little tiny bit off of this side. So, oh, ruler went a bit skew with there. For some reason, it's probably the unevenness of the grommets. So I'm just going to trim that with my scissors. There we go. Okay. Now, obviously, if you want to ink, now is the time to ink. So this is a bit sticky, so I don't want to use that again and ruin what I've done. And I don't think I've got anything else, so we're just going to have to do it carefully on my desk. So I don't do carefully though, do I? That's part of the problem. tell you what I could do. I could use one of these papers, because we are never going to see the backs of these because they're white. So there you go. I'll use one of these papers. And I'm just going to ink this up. Just going to run round the edge. And obviously, if I put beads on these, it's going to be the very last thing that I do. Once all the signatures are in and I'm 100% sure how much space I've got and all of that. So that'll be when I decide exactly what to do with those. And if I'm not going to bead them, then obviously I'll just cut them off short. Oops. Don't bend it up, Claire. We don't want to do that, do we? And I can feel that as it's drying, it's getting stiffer and stiffer. Okay, bring that one over and do this side. Flip it over, do this side. And then I'm just going to run the inside of my brush all the way across the edges. There's a bit of white there that I obviously missed, look. There we go. So yeah, I'm just running the edge of my brush over the edge. I almost feel like this should be in 10-minute crafting. I mean, I know it's not been, or coffee break crafting. I know it's not really been 10 minutes, but it's super simple, isn't it? Okay. There we go. And obviously at the moment it looks a bit weird because there's nothing in it. So I'm just gonna put the signature that I've got done. So I'm just seeing that I can see some of that white still. So I'm just rubbing my brush round again. There we go. Okay, so putting in your signatures is ridiculously simple. Now this is number 3, so I'm going to find my centre page, which is there. Just going to stretch this up, poke this in, stretch it down, and there is my signature. Now as you can see, that's not really very tight, and it just goes to show you how much pulling you can do with these. Now I'm going to leave that until I've got all 4 in, and then if I need to tighten it up more, which I can see that I do, I'll do that when all 4 are in. But there you go, you can see how that's going to look, because that one's going to sit there, and then we're going to have it pushed shut by 2 that side and 1 that side. There you go. So that is how I am putting my treasured page journal together. And as time goes by, I'll decide whether or not I'm going to put a closure on it, and if I'm going to put something up here or not, maybe some lace or something, I'm not sure yet. But as always, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found some joy and inspiration. Stay safe. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ta for now.